Okay, carpal tunnel syndrome, a nerve disorder that affects the hands and wrists, is often caused by repetitive motions such as typing on a keyboard. A recent study of office workers found that among those who do similar amounts of typing, workers reporting the least control over their own work had almost 3 times the risk of developing carpal tunnel syndrome, as did those who reported the most control.
All right, so what is going on here?
So, carpal tunnel is from typing on a keyboard,
Fabulous.
and they studied 2 groups of people who do like the same amount of typing, and one group who doesn't really control what they do had more carpal tunnel than people who had more who let's see than those who had the most control. So if you didn't have control over your work, then you had more carpal tunnel.
Wait, the least control over their work had almost 3 times. No, the least control you had, the more carpal tunnel you had.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
so if you didn't have control over your work, you had more carpal tunnel.
yes. Okay. So why could that possibly be, Malika? Why are the people that don't have control over their work, even though they're typing the same, have more carpal tunnel?
So like my prediction was the wrong answer, was that like, oh, they don't get to decide, like they get to do the busy office work, which just happens to be typing or something.
But why is that wrong? Your prediction is kind of not. When I say poor, I totally get where you're coming from, but there's an error in your prediction.
That's what I don't get. Like I don't.
What, Brittany? Do you hear what her error is? What's wrong with her prediction?
Yeah, they did the same amount of typing.
Yes. Similar amounts of typing. Yes. So we can't assume they're doing similar work or similar amounts of typing. The difference is just the amount of control of work. So it's not like these people are just getting the grunt work. I mean, they could be, but it doesn't refer to like the typing or not. So now I'm like, now that we know that, why might the people similar amounts of typing? Why is one getting more carpal tunnel than the other?
Okay, well, I guess now, so that there has to be like another factor.
Like maybe they're just the old people and they're like, I'm just kidding. I mean, maybe, it would work, right? What if they were? Then yeah, that would make sense.
I thought maybe like their boss was really mean and like yelling at them, whereas like somebody
that's
else was
what I predicted.
I'm like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
I was like, they're so tight and there's no relaxation. So they're like, oh. Anyways, any other, like, actually the only 2 things that I can come up with.
Well, that were like, I thought about like, okay, maybe they do the same work, but like this secretary can do the same amount of work, but she gets 5 days to do it. And this person has to do it all in 1 day as fast as she possibly can, but they're doing the same amount of work.
Yeah, that's where it's similar amounts of typing. And I was like, yeah, I think it has to do something with repetitive motion. So such as typing. Yeah. All right. So what answers were you between, Malika? What was the answer that you said that was wrong?
So I went with A, and I like really just crossed out B when I first read it. I thought that was so unrelated. But I think I just missed the whole thing about similar amounts of typing.
Nerve disorders. Yes.
I was really confident in this answer too. Like I put A, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Like
this is the truth. And look at where it's located. Right above the right answer. Strategically placed.
But I see, like, when I reviewed this, I know we weren't supposed to review, but I was like, oh my gosh, they do. Like, I was thinking when like Malika said, I was thinking like, oh, there was one that said that there was 2 groups of people. One probably did more and one probably did the other. And then, they just do less typing. Yeah, I was saying the same thing.
It was a level 5. Tons of people missed it. So